This hockey team is sucking the life out of me right now.
I knew it.
And what's really bad is when your best players are taking penalties and are not scoring goals. And they're basically saying after the game, we don't have the desperation that is needed. That is not a good sign.
Yeah, battle level. Not enough battle level. Real low.
Look, I know they played a team, we talked about this yesterday, that hadn't played hockey in 15 days. So the fresh legs were there. There's no question about that. But they're also missing some key players as well. And again, another goalie comes in and just outplays, our team. I don't know what else to tell you. All I can tell you is our center position is a mess right now. And it's the most important position outside of goalie in hockey. We can't win a freaking face-off. We have to put a fourth-line checking center out there late in the game to try to win face-offs. That's how bad it is. And we can't buy a goal. And, when your two best players, Kreider and Mika Zibanejad, spend a couple minutes in the penalty box, draw no penalties whatsoever, the coach has got no answers. It doesn't bode well for the coach. It doesn't bode well for the fan base. And it certainly doesn't bode well for me. I'm not happy about it.
Yeah, what can I do to help you? Because you're not here today. Of course, you're doing the quarantine still out at home, which is a thing that we knew you'd have a couple weeks after you came back from Florida. But like normally I'd get you breakfast or something. Maybe I get the coffee today for whatever I could do. That would be, I couldn't give you like a massage or anything like that because that would go against the COVID protocols. But is there anything I could do for you? Maybe send you a honey butter chicken biscuit from Wendy's out to your house or something like that? Anything at all, you tell me and I'll make this better for you because I don't want you to be downtrodden this morning for 4 hours. We got to have some fun. We got to turn this in. We got another friggin' snowstorm coming tomorrow, so we better have some damn fun on this show.
Look, I'm not downtrodden. I'm angry and disappointed and
frustrated.
I'm frustrated, and it's frustrating. The team played well against Boston. They just couldn't score any goals, but they stood toe to toe with one of the best teams in the league. But my God, last night's performance was pathetic, especially, again, losing in the third period and not scoring. And it's just one game after the next. And usually, and I like David Quinn. I really do. And I think there are guys that have, done well underneath him. I think some of the younger players have done well underneath him. And you could see some of the younger players getting better. But, last night was ridiculous. In the second period, they had the puck in the Devil's zone, I don't know, more than half of the period, maybe 3/4 of the period, and just could not score a freaking goal. They just couldn't do it. So it is frustrating. There's a million reasons why. I don't want the coach fired. I know that there's a lot of fans out there that are getting sick and tired of watching the same thing over and over and over again. David Quinn is a good guy. He's a good coach. For some reason, Mika Zibanejad has completely disappeared. He's got a big contract. He's supposed to be, the number one center, supposed to be the guy that's lighting up the light. And he tells me after the game that they don't have desperation and maybe time to cut the hair.
Yeah.
And maybe time to cut the hair.
Hold on a second.
What's that?
Let's not go crazy with cutting the hair now.
Hey, I don't know. You got to do something to shake it up, man.
Yeah.
You got to do something to shake it up because I'm telling you, the kids continue to do this like a hamster on a wheel.
Oh, hamster. We're going hamster wheel of turds now.
No, I'm not saying he's a turd because I don't believe that. I believe he's a really good player who's really stuck in a funk. He is basically what's going on right now. The Rangers are playing hockey the way that the Mets or the Yankees may play baseball at some point in time this year, where they go 10 games where they score 2 runs or less, and they're in a offensive slump that is
makes you want to quit watching sports.
No, it doesn't make me want to quit watching it.
It drives you nuts.
It does drive me nuts, and I'm on a number of threads, and everybody thinks that I'm going to get on here and start advocating for this and advocating for that.
No, you're not. You don't want to fire the coach.
I don't, because I do like him. But but when you have your two guys that are supposed to be your leaders tell you after the game that there's not enough fight, not enough desperation. And the way the game ended the other night with the Bruins sitting on the puck for basically 30 seconds in their zone and the Rangers not getting the puck away from the Bruin player tells you all you need to know. And, whether you want to you call fighting being tough, that's one thing. But going in the corners and winning puck battles, that's what tough is all about. And, they're having bad puck luck on top of all of it. But I give the Devils credit. I give Mackenzie Blackwood credit. He was great last night. And, and to make matters worse, the Islanders go up there. Their rookie goalie gets a shutout in Buffalo. It's what can I tell you?
You can't worry about them, Boomer. You got to worry about your own team, really.
Well, the thing about it is we're a quarter of the way into the season, Gio. A quarter of the way into the season.
Not good.
And they have more than enough time to get it back. And, a hockey team can get hot and go win 5 games in a row. And the next thing you know, you're right back in the middle of everything, especially with everybody playing everybody.
Yeah.
So
yeah, well, that's what you need. I mean, that's a nice positive attitude from you, because I know you were big on the first 10 games and the good start, and you can't fall behind. So are you changing your attitude? Instead of saying that it's over early or it's getting late early, you're saying there's plenty of time left to turn it around.
Never over.
Yeah,
it's never over.
Never over until it's officially over.
That's right.
And the Nets can tell you about that last night, as they were getting just destroyed by the Suns until they weren't, and James Harden led this massive second half comeback, and he was great. What can I say? Again,
perfect example. Perfect example. Here's a team that one guy has a bad back now, so he's out. His back spasms.
Well, I mean,
the other guy's out with a hamstring, and guess what? The other star, the true superstar, steps up in the absence of those players.
Durant's a true superstar too. I mean, come on, he is. Kevin Durant's a true superstar on top of James Harden being a true superstar.
No, but what I'm saying is that if you are depleted of some talent, and you are a true superstar, you step up like James Harden stepped up last night.
Yeah, let me ask you, do you really think that Kyrie's got a back thing, or is this just like maintenance days and stuff?
Who the hell knows?
Well, I'll tell you why, because
idea.
Did you see Kevin Durant after the Nets, are making their comeback, and then James Harden hits that three? Kevin Durant, in like a celebratory thing, pushes Kyrie Irving in the back, and he starts stumbling and stuff. And I'm thinking, like, Kevin Durant would really know if Kyrie Irving was hurt, and if he was, he wouldn't be pushing him in the back in like a playful way and making him fall over. So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. The thing, but the point being is that when you are shorthanded, your best players have got to show up big. They can't say after the game, and look, and I know that the Nets a couple weeks ago were talking about how they don't play defense, and there's no fury on defense, there's no emotion on defense, there's no intensity on defense. That's how I feel about it as a Ranger fan this morning. I hear my best players saying there's no desperation, there's no fight. I'm like, wait a minute, what did you just say? I mean, that is an indictment of their own selves. And we sit here, we talk about, playing defense for the Nets and how it's basically a foreign thought process to most of them. But you could say whatever you want. They're going to score 140 points a night. They're going to win most of their games.
Well,
and I just think that their top player, James Harden, showed you last night why he's their top player, like why he can do so many different things. And I give him all the credit in the world. I didn't like the way he came here. I didn't like the way he got out of Houston. I don't like what he did to his teammates. And, I'm not going to castrate the guy. But, at the end of the day, you're going to criticize the guy for that. But you can't criticize the way that he's playing for Brooklyn. You just can't.
Ever since he's come here, he's done everything right. And he's had many, many spectacular games. And this was really his best one, because he was the only guy out there of the big three of the Nets, and he got it done. And it wasn't like a mail-in type of game, because those guys weren't playing, and they get down by 20, and they're down by 20 at half. I mean, it was just a constant grind back into the. I mean, they were down 8 with 2.5 minutes to go.
You got to believe that. I would think that FanDuel took a bath last night on this one, right? Because no Kyrie Irving, no Kevin Durant. The recent history of the Nets is that they play down to, although the Phoenix Suns are a good team.
Yeah, I mean, they won 9 out of their last 10 prior to last night.
Yeah, that's the whole other thing. So you got to believe that a lot of money was placed on the Suns last night. I'm not saying locally, but I just kind of feel like maybe nationally there was a lot of money spent on them because of where the Nets were and what they looked like going into the game, especially when it was announced that Kyrie wasn't going to play. But again, I go back to, this was Harden's game, and he showed up, and he showed up big. And we could say whatever we want about how he got out of Houston, but I can't. There's nothing I can say other than, wow, what a performance. But that's a guy who played like he's a leader, like he give me the ball, I'll take it. Now, hopefully he'll be able to do that in the playoffs. I don't know. We'll see. But, as far as the Rangers are concerned, when your best players are saying there's no desperation, I mean, are you kidding me? Especially with all the injuries that the Rangers have, ththose guys need to have desperation. And there were times where, you say to yourself, Chris Kreider needs to take over a game. And last night was the perfect opportunity to do that, and he didn't do it.
Yeah,
he just didn't do it, and it's mind-numbing, how these guys have the contracts, they're playing for the blue shirts. It's such a prideful thing, and it's great being treated fantastically the way the Rangers treat their players. And then they go out and lay an egg like that, especially with the way that they have been playing as of late. They've been playing intense hockey. They just haven't been able to score. Last night was just a dud, and they got outplayed again in the third period. And that, to me, goes back to the coach. Now, that's another thing. Are they in shape enough? Are they, you just lost to a team that had half its roster, if almost not all of its roster, on a COVID list.
Yeah, and they only had, one practice, and I don't know how many weeks or whatever that was. But, yeah, by the way, to go back to your Nets betting point, they were 8-point underdogs last night. So someone who bet the Suns and they're up 20 and they're going nuts last night probably did feel great. And then that's one of those bad beats for sure. We'll obviously keep an eye on the David Quinn hot seat that you just put him on.
I hope
because
not.
You put him on the hot seat.
I hope not, but
he's on the hot seat now because of you.
But the players are going to be saying what they're saying after the game. In hockey, they can change a coach and they can change a season like that.
And it's happened many times before.
I don't think that they're thinking that way. I think that they want to let him, continue to grind with these younger players. And they lost Trouba last night. They were missing Panarin, Miller, Hedl. So
that's part of the story.
4 significant players for them.
Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit the red bell so you're notified when we have new content.